all of the books that I've read this year so far and give my reviews on them, just because you guys have been asking. If I could, I would make a full different channel of just books and book reviews and book vlogs, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I just don't have the time to do that. So I think I'm just going to incorporate like reading vlogs and book reviews through this channel, just because it is such a big part of my life, and I do want to share that with you. I know I have a lot of readers here, and I'm really excited to share this part of my life with you. So let's go ahead and get started. It's so funny because my birthday is coming up on the 18th, and then we have Christmas, and all I asked for my birthday and Christmas from my family is books. Like, I made a whole list of books that I am really excited and really want to read. It's funny because if you know me, you know that I only like horror books, and like fantasy and stuff. But I'm trying to dive into romance novels, which is so unlike me. Like, I've tried to get into them like a few years ago, and honestly, I didn't like how corny it was and like how unrealistic it was, like for me in my experience. But I watch a booktuber called Steph Brower, and all she reads is romance. So I was like, you know what? Let's try it. So I put a bunch of romance novels on my TBR and my wish list. So I'm really excited to start reading romance. But most of these are horror. So if you're interested in that, then go ahead and keep on watching. So let's go ahead and get started. I will start off with what I am reading right now, and I plan to finish this by the end of the week. And let me just say, this is Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And let me just tell you, this is one of the best books I've ever read. I'm like 170 pages in, and it is phenomenal. Like, Jordaline read this and reviewed it, and she got me onto it, and I'm just like blown away with how good this is so far. And Jordaline, I messaged her and I was like, thank you for recommending this because this is so good. And she was like, it gets even better. So I'm just so excited to finish this book and finish the series. There's going to be 3 books. He's only written 2 at this point, so I'm not sure when the 3rd one's coming out, but pick this up. If you like fantasy, if you like Vikings, this is such a good read. It really reminds me of the show Vikings, if you've ever seen it. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, but it's one of the best shows I've ever seen, and this is so good. To me, this is better than Game of Thrones. It's a lot easier to follow, and it's just so much better. So pick this up. Now, I'm going to start with the books that I read this year that I did not like. And I'm going to get so much shit for this, but I just do not understand the hype. I didn't even finish the 2nd book of the series because I just hated it. I hated it so much. And getting through the 1st book was so hard for me. This book put me in a reading slump, and I read this book for almost 4 months. I could not finish it because of how much I hated it. And I'm going to get shit for this, but this is the series of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then this is the 2nd book. I got like maybe a quarter of the way through the 2nd book, and honestly, I hated it. I don't understand the hype. I feel like the characters were not developed very well, and it was just like very corny and cliche. I didn't like it. So DNF'd these. And as you guys know, or if you didn't know, I was on a van trip for this past like 6 months. And so I was reading a lot. And so I'm just going to go over those books that I read. Not in any particular order or anything, but this one is called I'm Not a Serial Killer by Dan Wells. I really enjoyed this book. I think it reminded me more of like a YA book, only because of the age of the main character. But yeah, this one was pretty good. I didn't love it, but I'd give it like 3.5, 4 out of 5. It's cute. It's cute, and like the twist is pretty funny and like really good. So like if you're interested in like twists, definitely check it out. It's about a teenager that knows he's going to be a serial killer and is like a sociopath, and so he like creates all these rules for himself to not become a serial killer. And I believe he's like 16 or 17, and it's just a wild ride. It's really good, so recommend this. Next one is Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. Sorry, I thought it said Shaw. This was super small read. I read this in like a day. And it's really good. I really like Japanese like folklore. Like I'm really trying to get more into that, especially horror. I think it's such a good read, and it's kind of like a haunted house story. It's really cute. I say cute, but it's like scary. But I really recommend it. The cover, like living for this cover. I believe I got this at Pal's Books in Oregon, which it just I love Pal's Books so much. So all the books I get there, I like really cherish because it's such a beautiful bookstore. But yeah, definitely pick this up. Now this one is one of my favorite books of the year, and that is Tender is the Flesh by, what was this? Augustina Bazterrica. Tender is the Flesh. It is such a good read. If you're vegan, I feel like you especially need to read this because it just like validates, I don't know, our lifestyle. Like it is so good. It's basically based in like a dystopian future where animal meat is not edible, and so they start eating human flesh. And it's just such an interesting read. I really recommend this book. It is so good, and the twist at the end is freaking insane. This is so good. The next one is The Children of Red Peak by Craig Dillowee. And this one is super good if you're into cults. I really recommend this. I got like on a cult kick and read this book and then watched so many cult documentaries after this because I was so intrigued. Basically, this is about some children that survive a mass suicide from the cult that they were in, and they were rescued. And it's very interesting. And not only that, but there is a twist at the end, which I don't know. I rated this like 3.5 only because the twist was just kind of unrealistic, but it was good still. I would recommend picking this up if you like cults. Next one I read was The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. This was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. Weird twist at the end, but it's still really good. It's about this psychiatrist that interviews a patient, and everybody that's interviewed this patient has either gone crazy, committed suicide, or died after interviewing them. So this psychiatrist is like, I want to take this on, I'm gonna do it, you know, whatever. And then it just kind of unfolds from there. And I believe it's like his notes. So you're reading like the psychiatrist's notes, and it goes back and forth from that. But I really recommend it. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 5. Super good. This is Hex by Thomas Old Huvelt. This is one of the best reads I read this year, and it's about a witch and a cursed town. And once I saw that, I was like right up my alley. Like I really like this author. Everything I've read by him is so good. So I really recommend this. It's insane. It's literally insane. Such a good book. I love it. It's basically like the town is cursed, and if anybody from the town tries to leave, they end up committing suicide. And this witch haunts the town basically, and everybody in the town knows that there's a witch, and they like put up cameras to like see where she's at and stuff, and like you're not supposed to touch her or mess with her, and like people start doing that, and then chaos literally unfolds. So really highly recommend this. And this is Confessions by Kane Minuto. This is another Japanese book that I really enjoyed. It's very interesting. It's basically about a teacher whose daughter passes away at the school. I'm not going to tell you how, but she basically gets revenge on the people that kill her. And it's just a really interesting kind of story. And you literally are cheering her on from the beginning. And it's so good. So I really recommend this. Jordaline actually recommended this as well. And I was very pleased with this book. So I would say 4 out of 5. Now, if you know me, you know that I love Grady Hendrix as an author. He's one of the best authors I've ever written, and it's like spooky stuff, but there's also a lot of humor in it. And this one that I read was my best friend's Exorcism. This is such a cute and wholesome, spooky read. I really, really recommend it. And also, they just made a movie on Amazon Prime about this. So it turned into a movie, and it was so cute, so good. The book is obviously better than the movie. I always say that. But this is such a good read, and it just like shows you the value of friendship and, you know, loving yourself for who you are. And it's just an amazing story. Basically, it's these two friends are out, and they go into the woods, and one of the girls gets possessed by a demon, and nobody knows what's wrong with her. She does a bunch of things like throughout the year that they're like, what's wrong with her? And then her best friend finds out that she's possessed, and then they have to figure out how to get it out of her, all this stuff. But it's a really, really good read. I really recommend it. I would say 4.5 out of 5. This was so good. Okay. This was one of my favorite reads this year, and this one is No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. This was my first Adam Neville book that I've read, but I've only ever heard amazing things about his stuff. Like, he's such a good author, and this actually scared the shit out of me. Like, I was genuinely scared when I read this, and that never happens. Like, seriously, I never get scared about things like that or like movies or anything. And this was so good. Basically, it's about this girl who is really down on her luck. She needs to find a place to stay. So she finds this like house, and she rents a room out of it. And then basically the house is haunted, but there's other unfortunate, very scary things going on in the house from the guy that's renting it out. What's that called? I don't know. The guy that's renting it out, basically. And it is so crazy. I watched the movie that they made from this, and the movie was so terrible. Like, it was so fucking awful. Don't watch the movie. Read the book. The movie, like, makes something up at the end that wasn't even accurate. I'm like, where the hell did that even come from? But this book, 5 out of 5. Literally scared me to death. So scary. And then my next book that I absolutely loved, it was so good. This is called Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This is 5 out of 5. So fucking good. It's basically about a couple that lives in this remote snowy mountain, and she is in a really abusive relationship with her husband. And basically she's out one morning like getting food, and she hears this monster, and it's basically about her trying to convince her husband that there's a monster out there. He doesn't believe her, and then 3 strangers come to the house while her husband's gone and interact with her, and she's like not supposed to talk to anybody because she's like super controlled, and these people are like trying to find this monster and all this stuff. It's so good. And the twist at the end, like, it is the most wild ride I've been on in a really long time. Like, I read this in one sitting, literally within like 3 hours at Starbucks one day. I read this whole fucking thing. Like, it is so good. Like, I'm really excited to read more by Christina Henry because I've just heard so many good things. But this book is one of my favorite books in the entire world. It is so good. So I really recommend picking it up. So good. And then my last book that I read, and this was another favorite. Like, the last 3 books were 5 out of 5s for me. They were so freaking good. This is Mary by Nate Cassidy. I was waiting so long for this book to come out. Like, I was anticipating this book was going to be good, and oh my gosh. Moment of silence for how fucking good this book is. This book was scary, like actually scary, and just disgustingly gross. Like some of the imagery that he would say in this book, like literally I'd have to stop and like imagine it and just be like, oh, like so creepy and weird. It's basically about this woman that goes back to her hometown to take care of her aunt, and she is having like this psychosis, and I don't want to like give it away, but like basically a serial killer is involved, and it is so good. 5 out of 5. Nat Cassidy. Sorry, I said Nate. Nat Cassidy literally killed this book. I cannot wait. I think this was his debut book. Cannot wait for whatever he does next, because like, so good. I literally loved it. I literally loved it so freaking much. It is literally amazing. I'm like in awe of how amazing this was. Like if you don't get anything, get this book. It is so good. So basically that is the books that I've read so far. I feel like it's not a lot, but during the van trip, I was literally reading so much. And then like I'll get into these spells where like I don't feel like reading. But I feel like I found my love for reading so much. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys are wanting to get me a gift for my birthday or for Christmas, it literally happens every year where people will ask. I have a wish list I will put down in the description. If you want to send me something else, I will put my P.O. box in the description as well, so you can go ahead and do that. Not necessary, but I have been having a lot of people ask, so I will put that out there. My birthday is December 18th, and I'm so excited. I'm going to be 31, I believe. It's funny, my friend ML was like, no, you're gonna be 32, and I was like, no, I was born in 1991. I think I'm gonna be 31, but I don't know. I think it's 31. Anyways, I'm really excited. We are going to Big Bear for my birthday. We do it every year with our group of friends from high school. Brian's known these people since childhood, and I've known them since high school, so we're very close, and I'm really excited to spend time with them. And then for Christmas, straight from Big Bear, we are going to Yuma, to my family, to see my Nina and my mom. And my cousins are coming down from Texas, so I'm really excited to see them. And then we just have so many travel plans after that. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be filming a lot, especially this month, because I want to get as much content up. I know I took a couple week break just because we were traveling a lot, and there was just a lot going on, and my camera broke, so I'm using Brian's other camera, so it's been a little hard to film, but I'm gonna be vlogging and stuff this week, so if you stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to share other books and stuff that I have. I have like 12 books on my TBR that I have sitting in my room that I need to like talk about or read. It's so funny. Brian will literally buy me all these books, and then I'm like, oh, I want to read this one though, or I look at another one, and it's like I just have. If you're a book reader, you know you have so many books that you haven't even read yet. So really looking forward to tackling that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really wanted to get this up because so many people ask me what books I read and like what's my favorite genre, stuff like that. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get into romance novels. So if you guys have any romance recommendations, please let me know. If you want to send me any, my P.O. box is in the description. Yeah, I would love to hear what your guys' recommendations would be. I know I've gotten a lot of like Colleen Hoover, so I am excited to like try that. I've heard mixed reviews about her, so I'm interested to see like how I would like that. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am really excited about this. I'm really excited to introduce book reviews and stuff like that, vlogs, into this channel, because I think it's me, you know, and I want to be more diverse in my content. Like I love making BPD content and stuff like that. It's like my bread and butter. I love it, but you know, this is also a big part of my life that I really enjoyed doing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this side of me, and let me know if you have any book recommendations or anything like that. I would love to hear it. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.